kindergarten. I'm back to read you a story today. This story is called Mr. Duck Means Business. In this story, our character, Mr. Duck, he really likes to keep to his schedule and his routine. And sometimes things get in the way of that. Kind of like what's going on right now with us. We are usually in a tight schedule of going to school and doing all of our things, all of our learning at a certain time of day, and then coming home and doing all of our evening activities at home. And right now some of that's interrupted. And so let's read and see how Mr. Duck handles when something interrupts or gets in the way of his schedule. Mr. Duck means business. Mr. Duck lived by himself at the pond. Each day, he followed a tight schedule. No trespassing. Don't even think about it. Duck crossing, and that is all. Visitors, no visitors welcome. Keep off the grass. Shh. From 6 in the morning until 7, he would stretch his wings. From 7 until 8, he would fluff his feathers. At precisely 8:01, he would glide across the perfectly still water. Ah, said Mr. Duck, it's so peaceful, so quiet. I have everything I need. Day after day, week after week, and year after year, everything was the same, and Mr. Duck was very happy. Then one especially hot summer day, Mr. Duck had just begun his morning gliding when he saw Pig. Look out below! Oink, oink, splash! Mr. Duck sputtered. He muttered. He tail-a-fluttered. But Pig did not get the message. Mr. Duck was all set to give Pig a strongly worded speech regarding private property when... Well, there you are, said Cow. Let's see your moves, called Pig. Jump in. Oh, you don't mind, do you, Mr. Duck? Said Cow as he plowed past. Moo, moo, splash. Mr. Duck grumbled. He mumbled. He flip-flop fumbled. But Pig and Cow did not get the message. Mr. Duck was all set to tell them what's what when, Hey, said Goat, we've been looking all over for you. Anyone up for a game of Marco Polo? Called Pig. Last one in's a rotten egg, chipped a chick. Come on, Mr. Duck, said Cow. You're it. The water got wild. The scenery got crowded. And the peace and quiet, it was gone. Mr. Duck tapped. He flapped. He totally snapped. Quack! And somebody got the message. Perhaps we've overstayed our welcome, said Chick. Oh, said the other animals. Out! Out! Out of my pond! Cried Mr. Duck. This time I mean business. So sorry, my apologies. Goodbye, for good, said Mr. Duck. Sorry to have bothered you, said Chick. Thanks for letting us swim in your pond. Alone at last, Mr. Duck returned to his routine. He stretched his wings. There was no splashy belly flopping. He fluffed his feathers. There was no annoying water ballet. He glided across the perfectly still water. There was certainly no rowdy round of Marco Polo. Ah, said Mr. Duck, it's so peaceful, so quiet, and that's just the way I like it. On Monday, quiet. On Tuesday, very quiet. On Wednesday, peaceful. On Thursday, very peaceful. On Friday, yawn. On Saturday, Mr. Duck twiddled his feathers, peacefully and quietly, of course. And on Sunday, Mr. Duck had a plan. These days, Mr. Duck still loves to stretch at 6. He still loves to fluff his feathers at 7. He still loves to glide peacefully across the perfectly still water at precisely 8:01. But sometimes, life calls for a little noise. Noise welcome from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Especially with friends. All right, kindergarten, I hope you enjoyed that story. If you will, drop me a comment below and tell me some of the other characters you noticed in the book. All right, have a good day. Bye.